Millionaire Success Habits Exercises. The 7 levels. The negative story. Be amazing at what you're good at. Just say no. What makes you happy? 2 picks. The bad advice. Trigger words. Your why, or the 7 levels.
You need to find the root of your why. Why are you reading this book? Why do you want to make more money? Why do you want wealth to come into your life? There is a much deeper level of purpose that is driving you. And when you find it, you discover the driving force that will never allow you to get off track. The issue with most people is that they simply don't go deep enough into their hearts and souls to find out the truth about why they want what they want. It's unfortunate that our brains can so powerfully obscure what's in our hearts and souls. The 7 levels deep exercise is the foundation to all success and possibly the most important millionaire success habit you can develop. This is an exercise you should do 4 times annually. And once you know your why, you will use it in 100 different ways to motivate your actions. It will become one of your daily success habits. This exercise is called 7 levels deep, because you move progressively deeper into answers by asking why questions 7 times. 7 is the magical number that gets you where you need to go. It is always the right number. I think it's crucial that you go through this process with someone else, though it can work if you do it on your own. It's much more effective when you have a partner. Because you're familiar with the exercise, you go first, lead them through the 7 whys. Then take your turn. Find a partner who will take the exercise seriously and is willing to write down what you share. Start the exercise by simply asking why you are reading a book like Millionaire Success Habits. The initial question gets the party started. Then proceed to ask the 7 why questions in the sequence I've suggested, with the previous answer restated each time.
Here is an example of the 7 levels exercise. The negative story.
When you want growth in any area of your life but can't seem to find it, it means there is a story standing between you and your next level. kind of like a wall that you can break, but only once you realize it is actually there. To flesh out the stories and flush out the self-limiting beliefs in your life, we must move some of them to the forefront of your mind. To do this, think about in which area of your life you want to experience the biggest breakthrough. Just so you know, these stories may have been with you for many years. They may stretch back to early childhood. The crazy part is that in most cases, the stories that disempower us have been instilled in us by the people we've encountered along life's journey. These stories create the excuses our subconscious gives us for not living up to our full potential. Now think about the stories that popped into your head and complete the negative story exercise sheet.
What has stopped you from living your dream life? Where do you believe these negative stories came from?
It's a generational limiting belief or story that was handed down to you from your parents and their parents before them. You are living with the ideals of someone from the Great Depression even though you are not living in that period. It is simply an invisible fight, or as I've called it, the villain within that is causing you to be stagnant. If you're like many people, you'll examine your stories and beliefs and say, wow, that's my dad's belief, that's my college professor's belief, or that's my ex-spouse's belief. Even though they may have come from these people, if they live inside you for long enough, they will become your reality as well. So we need to identify them and see how artificial they are in most cases. You must see that they are not your beliefs but rather beliefs handed to you by others. How has it affected your life? Think about your life in 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 20 years. What did you miss out on again because of these stories and beliefs? Close your eyes and imagine missing out on a great opportunity at some point in the future. Let yourself experience the pain of that missed opportunity. Are you really going to give these stories so much power? Prove it's not true. To get rid of your old story for good, find proof that it is a load of garbage. A part of my old story was that since I was in special reading and never got good grades, I wasn't smart enough to go to college, and if I didn't have a college degree, I would never amount to anything. I told myself that I could never start my own business, and that you need money and smarts to make money. I surely don't miss those crappy stories I used to tell myself, but I know what it's like to have them. When I was younger, I convinced myself that I had no chance of doing anything in life that required reading or writing skills. I couldn't conceive of writing a book, let alone multiple New York Times bestsellers. Am I an exception to the rule? Or are there other people who have written New York Times bestsellers who aren't good at grammar or reading? Of course there are. So clearly, my old story was completely false. With a little research, I was able to figure out that the story didn't hold water. Have a conversation with God. Here is an exercise that will elicit true disgust for your old stories. Pretend that you're having a conversation with God, the universe, or whomever you believe your creator is. Imagine God saying to you, "Why are you not living up to your full potential that I wanted for you? I put you in this amazing world and gave you limitless possibilities in your life. What's stopping you from being your best you?" Sit in silence and contemplate that question. Then imagine yourself responding to God with the story you may have uncovered recently, or, should I say, the excuse, "I'm not living up to my full potential because my dad was rough on me when I was little," or "the economy shifted," or "my spouse doesn't support me." Could you really say anything like this to your maker with a straight face? Now imagine offering these excuses and rationalizations to someone who endured unthinkable cruelty or tragedy like a war, or a concentration camp, or cancer. Maybe you've endured an equally tragic life, but the odds are, your story is more typical than tragic. You endured your parents' divorce, or you've had a lot of expenses, or you always felt shy and had low self-esteem. Say it out loud. Because of the process we have gone through so far in this chapter and how we have framed your story, another way to rid yourself of your old story is to simply say it out loud and listen to how silly it sounds. Say it several times, over and over, and listen to yourself articulating it repeatedly. Say out loud, "I don't have a good life because," fill in the blank with your reason. Here's what I say. "I can't reach my goals because I'm dyslexic and can't read well." Yes, I'm embarrassed by my story, but that's the point. I know your story may have been traumatizing in the past, but when you say it out loud as an adult, you start to hear how misguided it sounds. Look for the good in every story. Find the good that can come from your story and start changing it into an empowering story. Remember the words of Tonyrobbins, "What if life happens for us, not to us?" When he shared that with me, the last 10% of the old stories I was holding on to about my family disappeared. If that hadn't happened for me, I wouldn't be right here, right now. So those supposedly bad stories were just part of a bigger plan creating and forming my character. Time to shift your story. Imagine you're in a house full of old memories from your life, and some are good memories, but others are those negative stories that remind you of bad things that happened in the past. Now imagine that the house is on fire, and you have a tiny suitcase in your hands and only a minute to save some of those memories. In order to reach that next level of success in life, you must choose to pack only the memories and the stories that serve you going forward. If it's a negative memory that weighs on your heart or mind, let it burn up in the fire. Only carry out with you those things that will help you make the best life possible. Remember, the past only lives inside you. You have to think of the past as research and development. It is there to learn from and develop your better self. If the past haunts you, holds you back, or doesn't serve your grander future, then let that memory burn up in the fire. Write your new story. As you craft this new story, do the opposite of what we did earlier and find proof that your new story is true. Search the internet to get proof, ask successful friends, seek out a mentor, or talk to one of my trained coaches. Do whatever it takes to find proof that what you are now saying is possible. Say your new story out loud. In fact, once you have the new story or stories, then it's time to anchor it in your subconscious. Remember, you may have been thinking those old limiting thoughts for 10, 20, maybe 30 years, or more. Just as it takes more than one session at the gym to get in shape, so, too, do you have to embed your new story into your life many times. Say the story out loud for the next 30 days, every night before you go to bed. Make it the last thing you think about as you're nodding off, and make sure it is the first thing you think about when you wake up in the morning. Try to make this a daily ritual for at least the next month. Also, find someone in your life that you can tell your new story to who would appreciate it. Someone who will smile and encourage you rather than poo-poo it and call you a dreamer. Tell this person how you've evolved and share the process of exchanging old story for new with this individual. Ask someone to be your accountability friend, a partner, or coach who can help guide you or at least keep you on track. If you have somebody who can mentor you and guide you, grab hold of him or her and don't let go. I go 4 times a year to meet with Dan Sullivan at Strategic Coach, and he's my accountability coach, delivering the wisdom that helps me be a better educator, a better businessman, and a better person. I also am a member of Joe Polish's Genius Network Mastermind in Phoenix. Joe assists me in sharpening my marketing skills and allows me to be immersed in better thinking and positive focus. A coach is someone who can really help you do that. If you have someone in your life who can be your mentor, please allow him or her to guide you. You can learn so much about yourself and your future success by changing the stories of the past and killing the villain within. More importantly, once you kill the villain within and change your story, you've started down the path to unleashing the hero that lives inside you and finally attaining the wealth and happiness you deserve.